Reverse psychology isn't just a fun trick, it's a powerful tool rooted in human nature. Understanding how and when to use it can transform your ability to influence people in relationships, business, and everyday interactions. But why does it work so well? Psychologists have long studied the concept of reactance theory, which explains why people resist direct commands and feel the need to assert their freedom. When someone tells us what to do, we instinctively push back because we don't like feeling controlled. But when we subtly suggest the opposite of what we actually want, we trigger their desire to reclaim autonomy, often leading them to make the choice we intended all along. Think about it. Have you ever had a friend who refused to take your advice, only to come back later acting like it was their own idea? That's reverse psychology in action. A fascinating real-world example comes from advertising. Brands often use reverse psychology to build intrigue. In 2001, the fast food chain Taco Bell jokingly claimed they had purchased the Liberty Bell to rename it the Taco Liberty Bell. The public was outraged until they realized it was a clever marketing stunt that made Taco Bell a trending topic nationwide. Even parents and educators use reverse psychology. Studies show that children who are told not to play with a toy become more interested in it. This phenomenon, known as the forbidden fruit effect, is why reverse psychology is so effective. It taps into our innate desire for what we're told we can't have. But here's the catch. Reverse psychology is not about manipulation. When used ethically, it helps guide people toward better choices, strengthens relationships, and improves negotiation skills. Now that we understand why it works, let's dive into the most powerful reverse psychology techniques you can start using today. Reverse psychology is all about subtly guiding people toward a decision by making them feel like they're making it on their own. Here are the most powerful tricks you can use to influence anyone. Number 1. The strategic reverse challenge. One of the simplest and most effective ways to use reverse psychology is by challenging someone's ability to do something. People love proving others wrong. So when you say, "You probably won't be able to do this," it triggers their competitive nature. A famous study by psychologist Jack Brame on psychological reactance found that people are more likely to engage in a behavior when they feel their freedom is being restricted. This is why phrases like, "You probably shouldn't buy this," can actually make a product more desirable. Salespeople often use this tactic by pretending to doubt whether a customer is truly ready to make a purchase, leading the buyer to prove them wrong by making the decision themselves. Number 2, the forbidden fruit technique. Have you ever noticed that the moment something is labeled off limits, people want it even more? This is called the forbidden fruit effect, and it's a classic reverse psychology trick. It's why movies are advertised as too scary to watch alone, and why some books become bestsellers simply because they've been banned. One of the most famous examples is the parental advisory sticker on music albums. Instead of discouraging sales, it made certain albums must-haves for rebellious teenagers. Studies show that when people feel restricted, their desire for the forbidden thing increases. You can apply this in conversations by subtly making something seem out of reach. For example, if you want to persuade a friend to watch a movie, you might say, "It's probably not your type, but I thought it was amazing." That slight restriction makes them more curious to prove you wrong. Number 3, reverse psychology in negotiations. Skilled negotiators use reverse psychology all the time. Instead of aggressively pushing for what they want, they play it cool and make the other person feel in control. This tactic, known as the reluctant buyer or reluctant seller, is common in high-stakes deals. For example, if you're negotiating a salary, instead of saying, "I really need this job," a more effective approach is, "I'm not sure this position is the right fit, but I'd love to hear what you think." By appearing indifferent, you shift the power dynamic and make the employer work harder to convince you. This technique is often used in real estate. A seller might say, "I'm not sure I want to part with this house just yet," making buyers more eager to close the deal before they lose the opportunity. Number 4, the reverse psychology compliment. People are more likely to embrace an idea when they believe they came to the conclusion themselves. One way to do this is by giving an indirect compliment. Instead of directly telling someone what to do, you make them feel like they're already doing it. For instance, if you want someone to be more responsible at work, instead of saying you need to step up, try, "I've always admired how responsible you are." This subtly influences them to live up to that expectation. A psychological concept called the Pygmalion effect explains why this works. Research shows that people tend to act in ways that align with how they believe others perceive them. If someone is labeled as smart or hardworking, they're more likely to embody those traits. Number 5, the reverse ultimatum. People don't like being forced into a decision, but they also don't want to feel like they're missing out. The reverse ultimatum works by giving someone a way out, while subtly making them feel like they should take the option you want. For example, instead of saying, "You have to come to the party," you could say, "You probably have better things to do, but we'd love to have you." This removes pressure while still making the invitation feel special. This method is especially powerful in sales and marketing. Brands often say, "Only available for a limited time," but hey, no pressure. That no pressure element makes people feel like they're making an independent choice, even though they're being guided toward a decision. Number 6, the reverse double bind. This technique gives someone the illusion of choice while leading them toward the same outcome. It's often used by parents, teachers, and even politicians. Instead of asking, "Do you want to do this?" which allows for a no answer, you frame it differently. For example, a parent might ask a child, "Do you want to do your homework now or after dinner?" Either way, the homework gets done, but the child feels like they had a choice. Salespeople use this by asking, "Would you like the basic package or the premium one?" instead of, "Do you want to buy this?" By eliminating the option to refuse, they increase the likelihood of a sale. Number 7, reverse psychology in relationships. Reverse psychology is frequently used in relationships, both intentionally and unintentionally. One of the best ways to get someone to open up is by showing indifference instead of pushing for attention. For example, if someone is pulling away instead of chasing them, you might say, "I completely understand if you need space." This removes pressure and often makes them rethink their decision. A classic psychological principle called the scarcity effect explains this behavior. When we believe something is scarce or slipping away, we desire it more. This is why playing hard to get sometimes works. It creates the illusion that your time and attention are valuable. However, it's important to use this technique ethically. Manipulating someone's emotions isn't healthy, but understanding when to give space and when to engage can improve relationships. Number 8, reverse psychology in leadership. Great leaders use reverse psychology to motivate people without direct orders. Instead of saying, "You have to do this," they create a sense of ownership by making people feel like it was their idea. For example, instead of telling an employee, "You need to work harder," a leader might say, "I trust you to find the best way to handle this." This approach builds confidence and increases motivation. Studies show that when people feel like they have control over their choices, they are more committed to their decisions. That's why successful leaders don't micromanage. They use subtle influence to guide people in the right direction. Reverse psychology is an art, not a science. It works best when used subtly and ethically. When done right, it can help you negotiate better, build stronger relationships, and become more persuasive in every aspect of life. Now that you understand the power of reverse psychology, How can you start using it in your daily life? Here are a few practical ways to apply these techniques effectively. Number 1. In conversations and persuasion. Next time you want to convince someone, try using the reverse challenge. Instead of directly asking them to do something, subtly challenge their ability to do it. For example, if a friend is hesitant to start working out, say, "I'm not sure you're the type of person who enjoys a challenge like this." This can trigger their desire to prove you wrong. Number 2. At work and in business. Want to be more persuasive at work? Try the reverse ultimatum approach. Instead of pressuring a colleague into helping with a project, say, "I know you're super busy and you probably don't have time for this." This removes resistance and makes them more likely to volunteer. If you're in sales, experiment with the forbidden fruit technique. Make a product seem scarce or exclusive by saying, "We only have a few left, but no worries if it's not for you." That subtle scarcity makes it more desirable. Number 3. In relationships and parenting. Instead of telling your child, "Eat your vegetables," try, "I bet you won't eat those because they make you super strong." Suddenly, eating vegetables becomes a fun challenge rather than a demand. In relationships, if someone is hesitant about commitment, instead of pushing them, say, "I completely understand if you're not ready." This takes away pressure and often makes them reconsider. Number 4. In everyday decisions. Even simple choices, like convincing a friend to try a new restaurant, can benefit from reverse psychology. Instead of saying, "You'll love it," try, "You probably won't like it, it's kind of different." This sparks curiosity and makes them more open to the experience. The key to using reverse psychology effectively is subtlety. If it feels too obvious, it won't work. But when used wisely, it can make you a more persuasive communicator in every area of life. Reverse psychology isn't just a trick. It's a powerful tool for influencing behavior in a way that feels natural and non-confrontational. Whether you're persuading a friend, negotiating a deal, or motivating someone to take action, these techniques can help you communicate more effectively and get better results. The secret lies in understanding reactance. People want to feel in control of their choices. When you subtly guide them without forcing the decision, they're more likely to take the path you intended all along. From using the reverse challenge to spark competitiveness, to leveraging the forbidden fruit effect to make things more desirable, you now have the knowledge to use these strategies in your daily life. But remember, reverse psychology should be used ethically. It's not about manipulation, it's about guiding people toward better decisions while respecting their autonomy. Now, here's a challenge for you. Think of a situation where you can apply one of these techniques this week. Maybe it's convincing a coworker, encouraging a friend, or even negotiating a better deal. Try it out and let us know in the comments what happened. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more psychology-based strategies. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.